Welcome to In the Hot Seat with the Tenney Group. I'm Spencer Tenney. It's good to be with you. Today we have an exciting client edition of the Hot Seat. With us we have Jeff Colonna from American PetroLog. Jeff, welcome to the Hot Seat.
Hey, Spencer, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm extremely excited about unpacking this story of a recent transaction. But before we do that, could you just tell us a little bit about American PetroLog, how it got started, and just a little bit about the size and shape for context for the rest of our interview here?
So, American PetroLog, I founded the company just over 7 years ago, and knowing that there was an underserved niche of in the bulk chemical, primarily bulk chemical logistics space. Um, there are not many players in that space. There's everybody who services that industry is asset based, um, which creates some challenges for shippers as far as flexibility and innovation. So I knew that we wanted to come in and serve the petrochemical industry with unique and flexible logistic solutions, both in trucking, storage, blending, transloading. So I started the company with a core group of guys and ladies that started up with me, from day one as a startup, and that team's still in place today. And we've made some significant strides, and our concept, our approach to servicing this industry was very widely accepted and embraced, and it's a key part of our services are a key part of the supply chain services of many blue chip chemical shippers.
Well, the growth story is just phenomenal, and we'll jump into that here in a second. But can you share with us who was the recent acquirer of American PetroLog?
We just went through an acquisition, and we consummated a deal with CAG Logistics, part of the Keenan Advantage Group, and that was a process. I'm sure we're going to talk about that, but it was we knew pretty quickly that they were the right partner for us, and the goal was to preserve the culture and the growth and the service that that American PetroLog has provided.
You have this startup, you address a very specific need, and it just explodes. And so, how did you arrive at the point where you knew that this was the right opportunity to exit 7 years later?
It's funny, Spencer. We started to get some real traction in the industry. We were 2 years running, we were on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in the country. Top 15 in logistics. So what we were doing, it was very unique. We were growing very quickly. We were extremely profitable. So we had plenty of opportunities over the past couple of years to exit, but up until recently, I never felt that the time was right. You need to be a certain size to get your true value for what you've done, for the sacrifices that we've made as a team, and I felt that being the stage, in the stage that we were at, that it was the right time, and I strongly feel that we found the right partner.
Well, I couldn't be happier for you. So, once you decided, the next step was selecting an advisor to help you along the way. So why was it that you ended up selecting the Tenney Group to be the sell-side advisor on this deal?
I thought about starting this process and going down this road, but I could have done that, very easily, maybe not very easily, but I could have done that myself. But that's not what I do. That's not our core competency, and so I knew that we needed somebody with connections in the industry and expertise in taking companies to market and working deals from the buyer side. I went through the process of talking to a few of your competitors, and it just didn't feel right. And then one day I was talking to a friend of mine who actually sold his company about 6 or 8 years ago, and he said, kind of bluntly was, why are you dealing with anybody else? You need to talk to Spencer. You won't regret it. So that's what brought me to you was a referral, which is probably the best endorsement of you guys, and the experience that he went through, he couldn't speak higher of what you guys did for his deal.
Well, that's mighty kind of sharing that. So let's talk about getting into the deal. You've been in business a long time. You've done a lot of deals. This is a little bit different. So what were some of the things that you experienced along the way that were kind of challenging, that you would want to give a little heads up to future sellers that are going to go through that process?
Through the sales process?
Yes.
Well, it's due diligence is it's not something I enjoy. It's I'm glad that I had your team on my side. They ran point on everything, and they insulated me from a lot. But it's questions upon questions, and it's we're fortunate, or maybe not fortunate, but we were preparing for this for a number of years. So even though we're a young company, only 7 years old when we sold, we were preparing for this event, and because of that, we certified our by an independent CPA. We certified our financials every month. We didn't try to go to market and then try to recreate financials to justify a narrative. So we had all our ducks in a row financially, operationally. We were over prepared, I would say, and which made the process go easier. Much smoother, but it's you're dealing with questions from every angle, whether it's operational, sales, legal, insurance. Just be prepared for that, and again, I can't say it enough that your guys really helped me through the process.
Well, and to be fair, for those of you that are listening to Jeff outline those things, especially when it came to the financials, it was because of that we got through the due diligence in a very rapid time, uncharacteristically fast. And I think that's only because Jeff was prepared, and that's meaningful. It's very meaningful to the process. And so I think because of that, it affects the way buyers look at the business and everything. So very high praise for you and your team for being ahead of the game when it came to that, because I do believe it made a big difference, made our job a lot easier, that's for sure. You're still a relatively young and handsome man here, Jeff. So I get excited about this. We were joking about it, but I wanted to if it's all right with you, before we came online here, we were talking about this conversation with your son. And I think this is really, really interesting because there's so many, family-owned or family-related type operations that, that whether they're employees or not, they are attached to the business. They feel like they're part of it. And so tell us about that conversation with your son about, you explaining why you chose to sell the business.
Yeah. So, the American PetroLog has been, my family's very, very well connected to the company. Everything, my life is American PetroLog for the past 7.5 years, and it's 60, 80, 100 hours a week. It's what I live and breathe. So it's when I did tell the family, that I was thinking about going down this road, it was met with mixed emotions, and I would say primarily my son, because he connected me to the company for most of his life, and my conversation with him was around this. This is a good opportunity. The time is right. We've built something that is valuable to other parties. This allows us as a company and us as a family to be able to take care of things, where we can take some pressure off of daily life for the family. And this is something where we can where I can provide the opportunity for my kids. We have 5 kids, and my surrounding family. If we could take some pressure off and relieve those daily stresses of that are financially driven, that we could make life. We're not buying a yacht. We're not living like the Rockefellers, but we're to the point where we can make some investments, and the life of our kids and our future grandkids and their kids can the experience can be a lot less stressful when it comes to the financial side. So that was my conversation with him, and he understood it at that point. And not that he was 100% behind the sale. He loves the company, and but he understands, and just reinforced that we didn't jump into this on a whim, and we've done a lot of research, and this is the best thing for the company, for the future of the company, and for our family.
Well, I love you, and thank you for sharing that, because that's a conversation that I think a lot of owners have some pause about, because they don't know what the reaction's going to be. But I love how you just described it, just in terms of the purpose. Like, it's done in love, it's done with extreme thoughtfulness, and then together you move forward as a family with a whole new view of the future. And it's just extremely exciting for you guys, and I'm extremely excited for you. A couple more questions, Jeff. Now, let's talk about this next chapter. Now, I asked you, like, hey, how's life been different? And you said, well, outside of a couple zeros, or more than a couple, not too much different yet. But let's fast forward the next 3 to 5 years. What do you think, that these next couple of chapters might have in store for you and your family?
That's who knows what the future really holds. All I can tell you at this point, Spencer, my focus for the next few years is, and maybe longer, you don't know, but I'm still involved in American PetroLog, and building my team and growing my team and building our business and servicing our customers. And I want this. I want CAG Logistics to walk away from this and think that they stole this business, because it's so there's so much upside to this that I want this to be a win-win for both of us. That they get significant value for what they purchased, and we're definitely happy with the deal that we agreed to. So my commitment to them is that I'm on board, and we're gonna continue this growth trajectory and really blow this up. We're gonna do some damage.
One of my favorite people, one of our favorite clients, Dennis Munson from Linstar Transfer, he had this way of evaluating the success of a sale. And he told this to the buyer during the kind of courtship process. He said, hey, if a year from now I'm happy with this, you're happy with this, and our people are happy with this, this will have been a tremendous success for everybody. And I feel very confident that that's where you guys are headed. And so I think that's excellent. So one last question for you, sir. Speaking of CAG Logistics, let's fast forward a year from now. You're at the CAG Logistics softball game, and you're batting cleanup, Jeff, because naturally that's where you belong. And we need a walk-up song to go up to the plate. What's that walk-up song going to be to let the people know what's about to go down?
You can't deny the intro to AC/DC Hell's Bells. It's giving you the forewarning of what's coming. So bring the hammer. So.
Oh, I love it. Well, listen, I'd be remiss if I just didn't say thank you, Jeff. You blessed the Tenney Group. It's just a pure joy to serve you in this capacity, and we have high hopes for your future. Anything that you need, we're here for you. That's going to do it for us here in the hot seat, sir. We will see you next time.